Previously on Fire Emblem Three Houses. Good for me! I just spawned in! Why does the camera panned? And now back to Mark Monastery. Hey everybody, the Great Big Man 679 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Three Houses. Well, what are you doing sports? Because I'm not spending the rest of the day doing the other three paralocks that I need to do.
Ah, that fragrance! Could it be? Ferdinand, I cannot help but notice the exquisite tea you're drinking.
Exquisite!
Not many can appreciate it, let alone recognize it. I'm impressed.
Perhaps you would be so good as to indulge me with a cup?
By all means, allow me to pour.
Ah, what a delightful aroma. When I close my eyes, I feel as though I've wandered into a rose garden.
Such a precise, poetic description. But please, drink up. No need to stand on ceremony.
How gracious of you. Very well. Flavor, fragrance, and hue, all in fine harmony. This is a most superior brew, and in a market saturated by pale imitation, no less. You did well to acquire such fine fare.
You are clearly quite passionate about tea. And more than just passionate, you know what it takes to brew a fine cup. To say nothing of your flawless etiquette and sterling attentiveness.
Certainly. Proper etiquette at tea time is one of the surest hallmarks of quality breeding. And the extent of one's attentiveness is quite often indicative of the depth of one's character. The ability of a person of fine stock to exhibit a rich quality of character is precisely what determines whether one is worthy to be called noble.
Are you sure?
And all of that can be seen in how one handles such a simple thing as a cup of tea.
Ah, marvelously put, Lawrence. I can tell you have given much thought to this subject. And if I may, I have always considered you to be the very model of noble comportment.
Likewise, this has certainly been an extraordinarily meaningful cup of tea.
I wholeheartedly concur. Before we part ways, I would like to offer you some of these leaves.
Truly? Well, I'm flattered, but I cannot simply accept them without offering something in exchange. You simply must allow me to host you in turn, by way of recompense. We shall drink from House Gloucester's finest teacups and enjoy the loveliest of its cakes.
That sounds exquisite.
Exquisite!
I look forward to it.
Whenever anybody says exquisite, I can only think of freaking Monsoon and the way it says exquisite. Now there's a penny meme. Exquisite!
Is that everything?
Yes, that's the last of them. Thank you, Marianne. Just when I thought all the laundry was dry, the wind got stronger, and by the time I realized what was happening, there were clothes dancing across the sky.
That must have been frustrating to watch.
I didn't imagine they would float all the way to the stables. Thanks again for helping me pick them up.
It was no trouble. They landed right at my feet.
Well, now I can hang it all back up before sunset. Everything should be dry by the day's end. All right, I should get to...
Are you all right?
Uh-huh. The hamper's just a little heavier than it looks. Do you think you could give me a hand? Whew, we got here just in time. Thanks for the help hanging everything up.
It was nothing.
Huh.
Okay, let's see the 10.
What is it?
I'm sorry. I know I'm not much fun to be around. I'm not very good at small talk either.
Oh, no, that's all right. After all, just look over there.
Huh? Oh, the flowers are lovely.
They were mere buds until just the other day. Now look at those gorgeous blooms.
How wonderful.
If we'd been chatting away, we might never have noticed them. Sure, the laundry was an ordeal, but at least there was a silver lining.
She's smiling! She's smiling!
This one ought to do.
What are you doing, Cyril?
I'm picking out logs to carry back and chop into firewood.
You can't expect to carry all these by yourself. Let me help.
Nah, I got it. I don't want you getting hurt. Logs are heavy sometimes.
I'm well aware. You should accept the help being offered. I'm older and wiser. I know best.
Lysithia, you seem a bit shaky. You okay?
Yep, totally fine. I'm just kind of losing my grip on this log. Ah! Well, that wasn't much help as it turned out. I didn't realize they'd be that heavy. I couldn't even walk in a straight line.
I told ya, logs are heavy sometimes. It's hard work if you're not used to it.
I feel foolish.
Well, if you've learned your lesson, I'm gonna go carry the other logs.
Hang on. Shouldn't you rest for a bit?
Wood still needs chopping. I got a bunch of other stuff needs doing before sundown, too.
In that case, let me help you carry the chopped wood.
You know how rough firewood is? You'll get splinters if you carry it with your soft hands.
You can't be serious.
You're just not cut out for this kind of work. Look at your hands. They're like a princess's. No point in you learning to chop wood, is there? You don't need to know how to do that stuff. You and me live in different worlds. There's no point lowering yourself down into mine.
Our worlds aren't so different. We're together right now, aren't we?
Sure, we live in the same places now, but that's not gonna last forever. Don't see how it could. Unless I actually turned into your little brother or something.
Wouldn't be surprised if that was the latest report in a nutshell.
Oh, Marianne, there you are. Lysithia, what's all this commotion? What's happening? There's been an accident at the training grounds. A spell gone amok. Come on, we need all the help we can get over there. Oh no, but I don't know how we could really use your help before things get out of hand. Come on, hurry. I don't think I would be much help. Oh, for the goddess's sake, you won't know unless you try, will you? Don't decide you're of no use without even giving it a shot. Fine then, forget it. I'll go on my own. You can just stand here and stare at the wall. I'm sorry, I can't do anything right. Oh, perhaps I took it too far. Hey, Marianne, do you have a minute? Listen, I'm sorry about all the stuff I said earlier. The situation was urgent, and I'll admit I wasn't thinking clearly. I shouldn't have been so callous. I hurt your feelings, didn't I? No, it's fine. I'm the one to blame. Huh? But, hey, are you sure you're all... I'm the one who should apologize. All I did was get in your way. You would have made it to the training grounds much sooner if I hadn't slowed you down. Huh? Wait a second. It's all my fault. It's always my fault. The accident was probably my fault too. You're being so... negative. I don't know what to say.
Marianne is the new Bonadetta, and that thing's not going away. Somehow. Unmiraculously. Okay.
Professor, have you heard? They say we finally located the enemy. It seems they're hiding in the sealed forest, right near the monastery. Lady Rhea has summoned all of the knights to return and take them down. And all of this is being done in secret. Why? To keep us... no. To keep you in the dark.
Why the secrecy?
Lady Rhea likely assumed you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from confronting the enemy if you knew their location. But that is not how the story ends, is it? Professor, we're at the ready. Order us to depart, and we'll fight at your side.
No, I will not allow it.
God damn it, you're not doing this again.
This discovery comes just when the knights are at their busiest. It is all too likely that our foes revealed themselves to lure you out there. They are the ones who took Geralt from you. I know how you must despise them, but I must ask you to rein in your personal feelings for now.
Please, Professor, do not act carelessly. I ask that you leave this.
I know what's going to happen, Rhea. I'll be fine.
Losing you so soon after losing Gerald would be unbearable.
Lady Rhea, Seteth, please try to understand our reasoning before you refuse. With most of the knights still far away, we cannot afford for you two to leave the monastery undefended. The enemy's strength is yet unknown. The only warriors who likely stand a chance are those who wield relics. With all that in mind, it's obvious who should be dispatched, is it not? If the professor leaves, we will go as well. We've already made preparations and are ready to depart at a moment's notice. Surely you must see that we cannot wait any longer for the knights to gather. Please, do what must be done and give us the order.
Professor. Understood. Destroy the... You have the
No matter what enemy we face, we will not fail. I promise you that.
The sealed forest is up ahead. Stay alert.
This is for Captain Gerald. I will not falter.
It is time to repay the kindness of the professor who saved my life.
Leave it to us, Professor. I'll give it my all.
Fighting Tomas. It will be difficult, that's for certain.
I don't really love the idea of fighting people I know. We don't have a choice. Even if it's difficult, an enemy is an enemy. We've just gotta get it over with.
Yep.
Just kill them from behind. As long as you don't see their faces, you won't know if you know them.
We won't know unless we see their face. Yes, I suppose that is true. Professor, I hope you know I meant what I told you before. Your enemy is my enemy. And I will follow you until the end. Whatever that end may be.
Let's do our best.
Yes, right. We'll fulfill our duty together. We've come this far. We can't stop now. I hope you know that you can rely on us. No matter who the enemy is, we are prepared to cut them down. Yes. No matter who they may be.
Ah, this is gonna bite you so hard on the anatomy tree. I'll just go through all of this forest and enter Sweet Cronia. Wouldn't that be nice? This certainly will take some time.
The nope.
Let me guess, another one? Or can I just simply kill it from here? Well, at least get one of its health walls at least. That's a lot of enemies. There goes Ignat.
Oh, how cute! You're trying so hard. But now it's time to die.
Well, this feels foolish. I can only assume he's meaning Sophis, because I'm not sure what he considers to be a god or goddess.
What was that sorcery? What happened to our professor?
They were swallowed by the mystical darkness of the forbidden spell. An eternity wandering in a void of nothingness, never to return to this world. To think, we almost had the sword of the Creator.
That's a lie! There's no way the professor is really dead. That's right. Our professor is no ordinary human.
I do not believe our professor has fallen.
It is possible that death has yet to find your friend, but there are worse things than death. Drifting through the darkness with no chance of escape, overwhelmed with hopelessness. It must be torturous.
We cannot abandon hope, Your Highness. Our professor lives. I know it.
You're right. We will save the professor. But first, let's destroy this fiend. I'll slice you into 1,000 pieces as you watch with horror. You will know true pain before I finally allow you to die.
How trite. But if you wish for pain, I shall oblige. If you prefer it so, you shall also be added to the ranks of the dead.
Well, we're back here again, Sophis.
You fool! What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap?
I was not even near the enemy trap and I was going into the enemy trap, Sophis. That's how much I was trying to be cautious.
I do not know how Rhea managed it, but she allowed me to exist inside of you.
Yeah, by taking the sword of the Creator's Creststone and then implanting it inside me, therefore making my heart not beating. I'm back again.
Professor, that is you, isn't it? I'm glad you are safe. I was sure that you would return.
I like how the demonic beast over there was like, where did everybody go? Why did everybody move positions? This isn't how it works.
Please tell me all that happened to you later. For now, it's imperative that we kill the demon.
Battle, a chance to...
I don't even need to use the sword of the Creator yet.
Let the lesson begin!
Boom! 69, of course. Freaking 69s.
Always get it.
Is that all? I'm getting strong.
Continues. Getting...
Bum.
I have...
Smash ya with a hammer!
That is that.
Guess I can do that apparently. Quick, please. Thank you. Dead.
I'm starting...
Somehow managed to kill him. Impressive. Smash ya with a hammer.
Great.
I am terrified by you, even though an emotion like fear has no place inside me. That means you must be eliminated.
No hesitation.
You're saying? So, are we gonna finally do something about Hollis in this route? Because we didn't do anything about those who stood in the dark in the Black Eagle's route. In fact, it was pretty much anything revolving those guys just dropped after
I'm glad you're okay.
time skip.
And you seem relatively unscathed. I'm so relieved. What's more, Gerald's foe is dead. Though we took little satisfaction from it. Professor, I must ask, what happened after we were separated? You look different.
The goddess gifted me her power.
The goddess appeared and gave you her power? It's as though the legend of old has been made flesh. It's hard to grasp, in all honesty. But having seen you pierce the sky with my own eyes, I find myself unable to doubt it.
The legend of old?
Yes, the legend of Saint Seros. It is said that she received a divine revelation from the goddess and was gifted with her power. Long ago, the goddess dispatched Seros to defeat an evil king who went mad with power. Perhaps the goddess saw the goodness of Seros within you too, and wished to help you in your quest to defeat evil. If you're Seros, granted power by the goddess, then I suppose that makes me... never mind. I'm getting carried away. Professor, what's wrong? Are you asleep? What is happening these days? Well, it matters not. We must get you help, and fast. It'll be faster if I carry you and run.
Well, you could use the horse, because you know, that's better.
There is nothing to fear.
Didn't stop Edelgard from coming in. Well, I'm gonna miss the hero outfit already.
Edelgard and Hubert have been busier than usual, constantly coming and going, in and out of Garreg Mach as the legitimate heir of the... But if it were significant...
Oh, they're preparing to attack us. They're preparing to attack us, I know. Doesn't matter what they're trying to hide anymore, I already know what they're trying to do.
Oh, Professor, I am so happy. Your new hair and eye color suit you well. We make quite the pair. But recently, I sense that things are a bit... She wants to do something at the Holy Tomb whenever it has concluded.
Yeah, I doubt. In fact, I even highly doubt because I don't know what's going on.
You don't like to talk much, huh, Dedu?
I am not skilled in conversation.
Any particular reason?
Reason? I am only here at the monastery because this is where His Highness wishes me to be. Many here are frightened of me, disgusted by me. I grow weary of it.
That makes sense. A lot of people hate Dusker. They think all kinds of terrible things. Some of them even think you kidnap and eat people.
We sound like true monsters.
Why are you smiling? Shouldn't it make you angry?
I suppose.
If those people would just talk to you, I'm sure they'd change their minds. I'll admit that when I first got here, I found you kind of intimidating. I didn't know if it was okay to talk to you. I hesitated, but like I said before, I just wanted to get to know you. And now that I have, I'm not scared at all.
I am not very good at interesting conversation.
We can work on that. Tell me about Dusker. What was your hometown like?
Calm. More forested than Fargus. Each town had a specialty. Smithing, fishing. You would be better off reading about it in a book.
Okay, maybe you're right. But answer me one thing. You're a great cook and you learned at home. Why don't you make more Dusker-style food?
As we have established, people hate Dusker. Food by itself may be harmless, but it is better not to sow seeds of discontent.
Ah, but the cuisine of Dusker is delicious. I'd really like to try more of it.
I am pleased to hear you say so.
Oh, that's Ferdinand. And not a better for support, so okay.
I was trying to catch you off guard, but you managed to block it.
Surprise!
Not too shabby, Professor.
That wasn't funny.
Oh, come on. Look at the blade I threw. It's just a wooden training sword. At worst, you could have gotten a bruise or perhaps a splinter. Let's agree it was funny and move on.
No. It would have hurt enough.
Aw, poor thing. Aren't you used to getting hurt? You've been in your fair share of battles. Besides, I knew you'd dodge in time. I told you before that I was going to observe you. Since then, I've been watching you. I know what you're capable of. I took steps to make myself invisible, so I could observe you without being detected. I hardly let you out of my sight. After extensive research, I've concluded that you really are first-rate. Your sword skills are impeccable, you're a gifted educator, you clearly love working with the students. Someone with all of your exceptional qualities should not exist, but here you are. At first, I thought Geralt was the reason for Lady Rhea's interest in you, but no. Lady Rhea knew exactly what she was doing when she singled you out. Unfortunately, I can't hope to emulate you, let alone wield the sword of the Creator. So my plan of imitating you for Lady Rhea's attention has come to nothing.
So you're going to stop watching me?
I didn't say that.
Oh my god.
I plan to give Lady Rhea a detailed report about what you're up to. Hopefully, then I'll be in her good graces. Oh, and don't think you can avoid being watched. I won't let you out of my sight.
Hi. Catherine. He hardly even left the room yet, since he was about to when the screen started to fade. Thanks for making me even stronger and more ready for the future chapters, because I'm just so darn OP, I just keep every stat raising item to myself.
Manuela.
A few scrapes.
You didn't even get hurt once! You didn't even get hit once! You're fine! So large bullion, short axe, short spear, killer bow. Okay, those are all good things. Sure, they can't be in my possession though. I mean, I wouldn't mind a killer bow though. Considering I could be critical hitting everything. Except for bosses that will have critical hit immunity, aka the final boss. Boss is. But you know. Oh, that's less distracting doing the mission and then do have the 13 process and then the time skip. And we'll see what really goes down with Dimitri's route.
I guess taking them all up in one go was a bad idea.
Annette? Are you okay with all those boxes?
Linhard! Hi, I'm so glad you're here. I don't know if I'll be able to handle all these. I thought I may as well get it over with, so I decided to carry them all at once. Big mistake.
Smart thinking. Do it all at once. That's what they say, right? Work smart, not hard. I think you've got it from here, so I'm off to take a nap. Good luck.
Thanks, Linhard!
But maybe you could help. Nope. Gone.
Nope.
It's fine. It is fine. Just a little further to my quarters. I've got this. I'll just... What? They didn't fall.
That was almost pretty bad.
Linhard, I thought you had an important nap to get to.
I'd call it insomnia, but I suppose it was really just a guilty conscience. I came to see if you needed help. And, sure enough, here you are, about to tip all the boxes on the floor.
Thanks. Though it may have been best if you had just chipped in from the start.
Huh? But it was your job. Why would I step in? You clearly had things handled.
Then why help me at all?
If the boxes had fallen just now, everyone would have had to help tidy them up anyway. If anything broke, more boxes would need to be carried. And if all of that came to pass, then there'd be noise and no chance of my taking a nap.
Huh. But if you had helped me from the start, there would have been no danger of anything being dropped at all.
Correct. But there was no danger yet, and so there was no need for my help. So I left you to it. Try carrying one box at a time instead of straining to do it all at once. Work smart, not hard, as they say. All right, well, I think you've got it from here, so I'm off. Good luck.
Again.
After all that, he's not gonna help me.
Welp. That's Linhard for you.
Oh, you're still here? Lysithia, hi. Did you forget something? I did. What are you reading? Just something I found. Though there are things in here I don't quite get. Is that the Compendium of Light and Dark?
There's a compendium for that?
It is. Amazing how you could tell that just from a glance at the cover. I've read it so many times, I have nearly the entire thing memorized. That said, it does seem to take liberties with some topics, so be aware of that while you're reading it. Wait, really? Yikes. Thanks for the warning. You've got quite the stack of books here for only wanting to brush up on one thing. I knew you were a hard worker, Annette. No, not as much as some people. Sorry. There I go again.
There I go again.
It's alright. In getting to know you, I've taken some time to self-reflect. I used to think that I worked harder than anyone, but I'm not so sure anymore. I have to work even harder to keep pace with you. Oh no! But then I'll have to work extra hard to keep up with you. Well, if you work extra hard, I'll need to work super duper extra hard.
Guys, you gotta go back and forth with this forever.
Oh, come on. Fine. Super duper quadruple extra hard it is. Okay, that's enough. We could do this forever, but we've got better things to do. Sorry. It's fun to see you get carried away like that, though. I'm glad we had this chat. I feel excited to continue working super duper extra hard now. I'm lucky to have someone like you around to inspire me. I feel the same. I'll do my best to keep pace with you. Why are you smiling? Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking about how nice it is that we can motivate each other like this. It is nice, isn't it? But I still intend to surpass you. Nuh-uh, I'm gonna surpass you. But before that, could you explain this part of the book to me? I'm not quite sure how someone of your caliber is struggling with this one, but let me break it down for you.
That's nice. That's really nice.
And that should explain it. Did you understand all of that, young Annette?
I did. Thank you very much. Oh, but I was also wondering about this part here. It seems a bit off.
Questioning something like this is proof that your understanding has grown. Most impressive. Sit there, and I'll put this on the blackboard so you may copy it into your notes for later study.
Wonderful! I can't wait!
I believe that should explain everything, yes? Any further questions?
None. Thank you so much. I feel so great. I'm really sorry for taking up so much of your time, though.
Not at all. Not at all. Your intellectual curiosity is marvelous to see. And you have a top-notch character. Keep on as you are, and I sense a bright future for you. Seeing you continue to grow and succeed is more than a humble professor like myself deserves.
Really? That's so nice of you to say. I'll do my best. I'm honored to be your student.
If only your friends would learn from your example. Yes, a classroom full of attentive, studious pupils would be quite refreshing after all these years. Have a good evening, Miss Annette, and do not hesitate to ask any other questions.
I won't, thank you. Goodbye for now.
Wait, you'll trip if you leave like that.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, there's a lot more here than I realized, oof.
It was so sunny this morning, but now it's absolutely pouring.
Did you hear the thunder just now? Good thing we got all the clothes indoors before the skies opened up. I apologize for troubling you with this task.
Don't worry about it. I was just passing by and thought I could help. I know how frustrating it is to have your newly dried clothes soaked by rain.
Oh.
What's wrong? We managed to keep all of the clothes dry, didn't we?
It's just odd. Every time it's my turn to wash the clothing, there's a sudden downpour. Surely it must just be an inconvenient coincidence. But I can't help feeling as though I'm somehow to blame for it.
Ah, I see. That probably is your fault.
Wow. You're even harsher than I am.
Wow.
You have a crest of Karen, don't you?
I do, yes, but... Hold on a moment. How did you know that?
I can just tell. I have a crest of Karen too, and I've noticed that whenever I need dry weather, there's rain. Don't you think it's our crests making the rain fall upon us?
How had I never connected this? This is quite a revelation. A crest affecting the weather.
Well, I don't know how true it is. There are only the two of us, which is a pretty small sample of people.
I suppose that's true. So, we must test our hypothesis.
Even if we have to do it in the wall.
Maybe we can find someone who tends to bring the sunshine around. That would be especially handy for helping out with the wash.
Now there's an idea.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flame. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhardt.
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of...
Yes, I did. Okay, moving on. You get an upgrade to your class, and get to look much more ridiculous in the process. Because I'm not sure who would be small enough to wear this.
I passed.
You get to be an assassin again. Because it's not like you've been in this class before, even when you maintained the same class when the time skip happened. Right, folks, the moment of truth. This ain't the Black Eagle's mouth, but we're certainly gonna possibly kill Edelgard. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, we're kind of sticking with the church if anything goes by. Construct in the Holy Tomb.
A revelation from the goddess. To think we'll have the honor of attending such a historical event.
I hear the Archbishop will accompany us to the Holy Tomb.
If something happens to her, all of Fodlan will suffer. We must protect her at all costs.
I don't care about Wayan.
This may sound mad, but perhaps we don't have to worry so much about that. Lady Rhea has said before that she is capable of protecting herself. I have a feeling that is true.
Yeah, it is all too true.
I thought it was a strange thing for her to say. And beyond that, her movements bring to mind a great warrior with an extensive military background.
Who is Rhea, really?
I wonder. Mind, it's also possible that I'm way off track. Regardless, perhaps we should brace ourselves for anything.
I never imagined attending a ceremony for a real revelation.
I wonder what the ceremony will be like. I'm so nervous. I'm not ready for this.
There's no chance for battle unless something goes terribly wrong, right? Oh, boring.
If you keep saying things like that, something bad is bound to happen.
I already know what's gonna happen next.
What's wrong, Flame? You look like you have something on your mind.
Who, me? No. It is nothing. May we all see this through to the end.
Your Highness, I will protect you no matter what. Your Highness?
Lost in thought?
I suppose you could say that. Nothing to worry about. It's about time for Lady Rhea to arrive. Let's all steel ourselves for whatever may occur at this ceremony.
The only thing I know that's gonna happen is death. And Edelgard.
Are you surprised, Professor?
No, I'm not surprised.
Incredible. To think such a vast space has been hiding beneath the monastery all this time. I wonder what powers that giant mechanism that descends beneath the ground.
This is where the goddess...
I don't care.
It is said that our professor... so long. Sit upon...
I don't care. We're only gonna be into what it anyways.
Well... it was supposed to be but a step...
Halt! Reveal yourself!
Don't move, any of you. If you move, your lives will be forfeit. Thank you ever so much for guiding us this far. The Imperial Army will now take possession of everything in the Holy Tomb.
Why is the Imperial Army here?
This can't be. How did they get into Garreg Mach?
Edelgard.
And the Flame Emperor is here. That can only mean...
The Flame Emperor is connected to the Empire. What do you know?
I never imagined you'd have the nerve to return here. What are you after, Flame Emperor?
Is it not obvious? The Holy Tomb contains great power. The power to rule all of Fodlan.
And to attain that power, you'll trample anything that stands in your way. Just like you did in Dusker.
I had nothing to do with that. Quickly retrieve the crest stones. Kill for them if you must.
Stones are in the caskets!
The Holy Tomb must...
Heretics! What could be be gained from desecrating these tombs and disgracing the dead.
Boom.
Should I have held back?
No. We're gonna punch this guy to death. Hey, I hope you don't mind me killing you.
Battle, a chance to
You don't need that. Nice. Mario almost shinderu, motherfucker.
Perfect.
That's a dance. This dance what I want to move again. I mean, that is how dance works. That's how dances work. That's how Songstress goes too, apparently. All the questions have been saved. Would you like to see some magic? Cause you're dead! Would you like to see a magic trick? I didn't take any damage. You know why? Cause I'm OP. I shouldn't be this OP, but I'm being OP anyways. I don't care anymore. I'm also staying on castle because first me being actually losing all of my important party members. I'm too attached.
Do not try to say you have forgotten. Do you know just how many people died in Dusker?
Why bother with this? Stay silent and fight.
So, you want to turn your eyes away from the lives you have trampled? Dastard! You are a monster. The lowliest beast I have ever known. I'm getting
The better.
Dimitri?
Is this some kind of twisted joke? I've been looking for you. I will take that head from your shoulders and hang it from the gates of Endor! Stop right there!
Dimitri? Jeebus, Dimitri, what the heck?
Before I break your neck, there is one thing I must ask you.
Stay out of my way.
I don't recall giving you permission to speak. Answer my question. That is all you have left to do. Flame Emperor. No. Edelgard. Tell me now. Why did you cause such a tragedy? You killed your own mother, and yet you haven't even had the decency to stop and consider the reasons behind your actions. Have you?
I already told you I had nothing to do with that.
It was foolish to think I could reason with a lowly beast.
Your Majesty, no!
You are a monster.
Come, Hubert.
To flee is futile, wicked girl. The Church of Seros will raise its entire army against you until you have been captured and punished. You have defiled the holy tomb, dishonored the goddess, and humiliated your brethren. That crime will never be erased. Even if you burn in the eternal flames and spill all of your blood into the goddess's soil. Come, Professor. Let us return and decide upon our next course of action.
Yeah, sure, whatever, frickin' dragon. Are you okay?
We weren't able to defeat her.
Your Highness.
I will kill Edelgard with my own hands. I swear it! Let's return to the monastery, Professor. It is clear what must be done.
So, he's finally shown his true face. The same Dimitri I've seen once before. A beast who loves spilling blood.
You're wrong. I'm sure of it. There has to be an explanation.
I knew he'd been carrying the burden of that tragedy. I understand his thirst for revenge. His family and closest friends, all massacred right in front of him. But it still doesn't add up. There must be more that we don't know.
That's true. Dimitri didn't come unhinged until after the Flame Emperor was unmasked.
You don't think there's some connection between those two, do you?
I already know.
The leaders of the church have misused its creed to fulfill their true desire, to rule the world. They have fooled the people of Fodlan. Long ago, they divided the Empire to create a kingdom, and then divided that kingdom to create an alliance. They did all of this to make the masses bicker amongst themselves. They caused instability in order to reinforce their own authority. They gathered gold and lived in extravagance. How? By preying on the devotion of those who wished for the goddess's salvation. Those corrupt hypocrites cannot lead Fodlan to true peace. Their foul belief system must be torn asunder so that true wisdom may finally prevail. And so, I have decided, by order of the Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, the Empire hereby declares war on the Church of Seros.
I cannot believe it. Let us recount the situation as it stands, Professor. After you returned from the Holy Tomb, the Adrestian Empire declared war upon the Church of Seros, as well as our allies. Edelgard demanded her own father relinquish the throne, and then assumed the position of Emperor. She has deemed the Church of Seros to be an evil of this world, and is calling upon the people of Fodlan to help her tear it down. I must discuss our response to this declaration with the Archbishop, after the Knights return from their investigation. Until then, watch over the students. See that they remain calm.
Professor, the Empire has declared war on the Church of Seros.
I know to do.
We knew this day would come, sooner or later.
What's going to happen?
We can't afford to be optimistic. It's entirely possible the kingdom will be invaded.
Settle yourself, Ingrid. We need to carefully consider our options.
We can't just act rashly. That will only make things worse.
Once we've ascertained the situation, we must return to Ferdiad. Your Highness.
Dimitri?
Hey, Professor. Did I ever tell you what happened with that thief?
No, you didn't.
I went after him, and I did manage to catch up, but...
He escaped?
Oh no, I captured him easily. I'm pretty quick on my feet, you know. But I decided not to make him pay for the book. My pockets were pretty empty after that incident, if you want to know the truth. Well, what happened was, when I caught him, I asked him why he stole the book. He said he thought it would fetch a good price, and that he really needed the money. He had a sick kid and couldn't pay for medicine.
He didn't look honest after one.
No, maybe you're right. But if he really did have a sick child, that would be a matter of life and death. A little money is nothing compared to that. I'd rather believe a lie than risk someone's life if I'm wrong. And to be completely honest, there was a time when I wasn't so different from him.
Huh? You were a thief?
It was a long time ago, and I've put all that behind me now. But yes, I was. My parents died of illness, so I had to provide for my little brother and sister. I did my best to earn money for them legitimately, but I wasn't able to bring home enough. So I turned to thieving. From people on the streets, from shops, even from soldiers. I knew it was wrong, but seeing my brother and sister's smiling faces made me too happy to stop.
Can't imagine what that must have been like.
I really regret that part of my life. I was stupid, but shortly after I turned 9, I crept into a local noble's mansion,
aiming to steal whatever I could get my hands on. The noble had all sorts of valuables. But what really caught my eye was a book with a fancy cover. That book was Lug and the Maiden of Wind. The knight in the illustrations was so impressive I just couldn't tear my eyes away.
Go on.
You probably see where this is going. Moments after I grabbed the book, I was caught in the act by the noble. And that noble was none other than Lenato.
Huh?
But Lenato was incredibly kind. Without asking any questions, he gave me the book. And money, too. When I told him I couldn't read, he invited me into his mansion, along with my brother and sister. He taught me how to read, personally. So, with the thief I caught in town, I was trying to do the same thing. To be like Lenato. I want to make up for the bad things I've done. To leave this world better than I found it. That's why, even if it wasn't easy on my pockets, I'm proud to say I helped him.
Okay, so you did the right thing?
I know what you're trying to say. My contribution probably won't change much. And it's not like I have the money to help everyone who's suffering from poverty. Even so, I can't bear to stand by and do nothing. What else could I have done, Professor?
I don't know. And since I got some resolve to that.
Unforgivable! I cannot fathom that the Adrestian Empire would embark on such a violent course of action.
Hey, remember, I was part of that action too. Alter the timelines, quick.
The fault is my own. I failed to see the wickedness within Edelgart's heart. There is no question on that front. She clearly wishes to conquer all of Fodlan, and in order to achieve her own selfish ambitions, she plotted with ill-meaning strangers and defiled the Holy Tomb. Or perhaps her ambitions are even grander than we know. Perhaps she is planning to make herself a false deity by demonizing the Church of Seros.
Oh my gosh, now I can see why the other two battles are so intent on painting Edelgard as the villain. Holy crap.
Adrestia received its very name through a divine oracle. To injure the goddess is a sin most foul that shall not be forgiven, nor forgotten. We must stop the Empire, and quickly.
Oh, it won't be quickly, I'm sure, because I'm sure something will blast me away and just time skip to 5 years later.
I have returned, Rhea.
Welcome back, Shamir. Were you able to discern the Empire's movements?
Their main troops are marching towards Garreg Mach. It is said that they will join forces with Edelgard's army and arrive within 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That is not enough time. It will require all of our efforts just to prepare our defenses before then. We must send notice to all surrounding villages at once. We must order the residents of Garreg Mach to flee for their lives.
It will be done.
Professor, listen closely.
I don't want to listen to anything you have to say.
If our enemy invades the monastery, I will have no choice but to stand upon the battlefield. If something happens to me, I am entrusting my sacred duties to you.
No, fudge off.
You must have guessed it by now. The truth of who you are, or perhaps I should say, your lost memories are surely beginning to return. I have acted all these long years as a mere proxy for you. But the duty is yours, and yours alone. Only you can lead the people of Fodlan.
Yeah, screw you too.
Rhea, please. You must tell me all that you know. I beg of you. That one is the progenitor god. Am I correct?
In a sense. Our dear professor is a vessel. One who carries the power of the progenitor god within.
Screw you too, Rhea.
In time, the vessel will become one with the power contained within, and the progenitor god shall return to this world.
I see. I trust that you are aware of the questionable nature of this experiment. But I suppose there is no turning back.
I ask that you help our friend. And in doing so, help her. I am waiting and hoping for the moment when our creator rules this wayward land once more.
Fudge off!
I understand. As ever, I will take you at your word.
Lady Rhea, brother, I will do my part as well.
Flame! Were you eavesdropping? Regardless, I am glad to hear it. You owe your life to the Professor, after all. And in the end, they may prove to be our brethren.
You have my gratitude, Seteth. And you as well, Flame. As followers of the Progenitor God, it is up to us to see our mission through.
Fudge off!
We must protect Garreg Mach. Defiling the Holy Tomb was a sacrilege. I will not allow such a thing to happen again. The Archbishop has already given you a new responsibility. I want you to rise to that honor. I have something to ask of you.
I can personally care less. I can personally care less about anything. All I want to do is just kill Rhea over and over and over again. Because fudge it. Honestly, just fudge it. I don't care.